This is CNN Breaking News.
This is Lindsay Ferguson reporting live from the Capitol from CNN. Small business owner and father of three, Austin Bryan is a classic American family man. He was educated at William & Mary and later went on to get his master's at UVA. CNN got a chance to talk to Bryan about many of his stances on the vital political issues that are a big part of the government. Talking about one of the biggest issues first, our economy, Bryan identifies as a conservative Democrat. Bryan states that the debt ceiling discussion is a big thing right now, turning what used to be what was described by one of Bush's staff members as housekeeping for Congress to a big point of leverage for the Republicans. He plans to seek responsibility and compromise on the growing issue of the debt ceiling. While willing to do this, he does recognize the hesitancy in compromising with the often rigid and traditionalist Republicans. Republicans are going for tax and budget cuts, as always, and the Democrats are disagreeing, although willing to cut some social programs like Medicare. He said, we have painful discussions about entitlement. I'm in favor of entitlement programs, but we have to make cuts to them in order to continue along as a country. The candidate was also very willing to talk about what he was planning to do for foreign policy. He takes a moderate stance on the war with Libya and believes that we should keep doing what we are doing now, and that's important for us to act as an auxiliary role or an ally. While talking about all the issues in the United States today and how he plans to handle them, the down-to-earth family man still found time to talk about his home state. Bryan displayed his compassion and understands the past of hard-working Virginians. He stated, I will represent values that hold to help renew our nation and renew our state. I want my 3 children to enjoy their state very much. He holds educational values close to home. He stated about the educational system, teachers need to be the best in the world. My 3 kids are in public school, which is where I want them to be. I have faith in the schools, and I will work to make sure they can be the best. The large divide in Congress has really made headlines this year in Washington, D.C. This year, in the November elections, the Republicans swept out the Democratic majority in the House of Representatives and gained ground in the Senate, where they remain the minority. Or in Bryan's words, divided more than it has ever been in the past. Also, the Republicans themselves are facing divisions as the Young Guns, led by Cantor and other Republican views that don't line up with Boehner, who still says that the Republican Party is united. Many other people throughout Congress have been disagreeing over how to take action on some of the issues they are trying to respond to. Bryan, however, is well aware of this fact. In our interviews, he stated, I will be going into the most divided House in modern history. Bipartisanship will be a really important skill. I don't think we need to be sending another Republican in there. I can reach across lines because they need the right voice talking to them.
Good evening. I'm Chris Bowie coming to you live from the Capitol for CNN. Today, I'm reporting on the Virginia Senate candidate, Ryan Flynn. Ryan is from Norfolk, Virginia, and had his undergraduate degree from the University of Virginia in public policy and economics. He got his master's degree at Georgetown in the University of Foreign Affairs. He has served on his city council in Norfolk and has been a state senator for 3 years. Today, he is running his Senate campaign on the creation of more jobs and holding teachers accountable in our school systems. He is willing to do whatever it takes to secure America's future. In his current campaign, he's adamant in having no more taxes. He repeatedly mentioned that he's willing to compromise across the line, even if it means shooting yourself in the foot politically. He's willing to do whatever it takes to secure America's future. He said that if we need some Democratic votes, he would go out and get those votes, and he's willing to negotiate. He wants to use as much money as possible to support the troops. He's adamant on securing our nation's military for the future. However, he said that if it is absolutely necessary, he's willing to make some minor cuts. In terms of gay marriage, he would do and support whatever his constituents in his hometown feel. He said that he's not willing to let his personal beliefs get.
Hi, I'm Austin Bryan, the Democratic candidate for the U.S. Senate. I understand how difficult it is living in these tough economic times. As a small business owner and lifelong resident of Virginia, I want to be the voice you send to Washington.
Senator Bryan plans to focus on improving the economy while keeping in mind the values of the middle class. He became a strong advocate of education and the environment due to his experience as a state senator. He voted in favor of the gay marriage bill and constantly worked for fiscal stability. Austin Bryan, keeping you in mind.
This is Lindsay Ferguson from CNN reporting live from El Salvador. Here with me is Mr. Flynn's former nanny, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, I knew you used to be the nanny for Mr. Flynn before you were deported back home. During that time you worked with Mr. Flynn, how would you describe your relationship?
En ese momento yo era íntimo con señor Flynn. Pienso que lo amaba, pero yo sabía que estaba casado y tenía una familia que me importaba mucho que ver también. Así que decía que era con mi vida y no hace daño a nadie.
Could you say that in English, please?
Oh, lo siento. I get caught up sometimes in myself. Mr. Flynn was so caring. He offered to pay me so much money and helped me support me. After a few years working with him, we got serious. At the time, I was intimate with Mr. Flynn. I thought I loved him. The affair with Ryan happened 14 years ago. But I knew he was married and had a family who I cared very much about too. So I decided I would go on with my life and not hurt anyone.
If you cared so much about the Flynns, who you worked with for 14 years, then why would you sleep with Ryan?
He said that I did what I'm still working on the English, you know. He said that if I did what he wanted to, he would help me raise my child. The truth is, we were intimate for many years, and he helped me keep the secret. I did not want to tell. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you so much for your time. Live from El Salvador, this is Lindsay Ferguson, reporting for CNN. Mr. Rodriguez, according to the press release, it says that you were a woman when you were working for Mr. Flynn.
Yes, well, you see, the nanny business today is very, very demanding, and in order to get across the border, Mr. Flynn had to pretend that I was a woman, you see. And his staff, they covered it up. Some of them didn't even know that I was a man. And, well, I just had to let it all out on the table. I can't keep this burden in my chest. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say.
My fellow citizens, I stand here today humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful of the sacrifices borne by our ancestors. The current senatorial race of Virginia is critical to the future of our nation. And I believe that the candidate, Senator Austin Bryan, is the only man for the job. His willingness to compromise will inspire the nation. On this election day, we come to proclaim and to end the petty grievances and false promises, the recriminations and worn-out dogs that far too long have strangled our politics. CNN has covered this closely, focusing on the issues and details of the truth. As the only unbiased media outlet covering this election, I urge you, my fellow Americans, to trust and follow CNN with a close eye and vigilance. As I do, thank you. And may God bless Austin Bryan, CNN, and the United States of America.